Hello, welcome everybody to this session of the J Champions Conference. Happy, I don't know, any part of the time of your day. For me, it's afternoon, more or less evening. So welcome. Now this session, we are very proud to have Emily Young, that she's going to talk about MicroProfile 6 that was released 1 month ago. So this is very, very hot and very fresh. Emily is Java champion, obviously, and is cloud native architect and chief advocate at IBM. And she's going to talk about deep dive MicroProfile 6 with Jakarta EE10 core profile. So without further ado, I will give the stage to Emily. It's all yours.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, everybody. I am Emily. So it's in today's session, as Jonathan said, I will talk more about MicroProfile 6. Before I get into MicroProfile 6, I want to give you a quick overview about MicroProfile first, and then followed by the MicroProfile 6 release, and then the details about MicroProfile 6. Finally, I will conclude with MicroProfile future in 2023. This MicroProfile is an open source project. Obviously, is here to define the standard for doing cloud native applications. Currently, it has 10 members in this working group, including IBM, Tommy Tribe, Red Hat, Atlanta Jack, Fujitsu, Microsoft, Brampton, Garden State Jack, iJack, and Oracle. So yeah, as you can see, there's a few, companies plus a few kind of Java user groups. And also is the working group is expanding. So as the last year, like 2022, we gained 2 members, Microsoft and Brampton. In addition to the working group members, and MicroProfile has been widely adopted by many runtimes. In IBM, we have Open Liberty and WebSphere Liberty. Red Hat has Wildfly, Quarkus, and Piara has Piara, and Fujitsu has Apache Launcher. Oracle has Halidon, and also is Tommy Tribe has Tommy EE, and also Cumulus EE has the runtime Cumulus EE to support MicroProfile, and also we encourage more runtime to adopt MicroProfile. As you can see in this kind of slide, I briefly demonstrate the MicroProfile releases. MicroProfile was established in 2016. As you can see, briefly every year since then, it has 3 releases. And in the 2022, we have a MicroProfile 6 because it has contain a lot update and plus the re-baseline of Jakarta EE10 core profile. As you can see here, I want to bring your attention to the MicroProfile. One thing is MicroProfile actually is adopt Java EE and then Jakarta EE technologies. In the 1.0, there's nothing new in MicroProfile being added except these 3 Jakarta EE 7 specs, JAX-RS, CDN, and JSON-P. And then in MicroProfile 2.0, we upgraded from Java EE 7 to Java EE 8. So we have JAX-RS, 2.1 CDI, 2.0, and JSON P and JSON B. And then similarly in the in MicroProfile 4, we again update the version for the Jakarta E or Java EE specifications. To this time it would become because directly become Jakarta EE 8. So as you may recall, the difference between Java E8 and Jakarta E8 was very minimal. There's no API change. The only change is Maven coordinate. And so there's not much meaningful change. However, in MicroProfile 5, and it's based like Jakarta E 9.1. So this was a bigger change because this change is from JavaX to Jakarta namespace. In MicroProfile 6, we released in the December 2022, for this one, because Jakarta EE10 was released in the 2022, and then MicroProfile followed very closely with Jakarta EE releases. So, and then very quickly, MicroProfile 6 was released to adopt Jakarta EE10 core profile, and plus there's some other spec update. Before I dive into MicroProfile 6, I want to quickly go through the MicroProfile 5.0. So 5.0, as you can see, there's two type of releases. One is the platform release, the other one is the standalone release. So when we say MicroProfile 5, we directly talk about the platform release version. So in the platform release, you can see this green ones is directly from Jakarta EE technology, and then this 8 MicroProfile specs. And standalone specs, basically they are new specs, and they are standalone, not part of this platform release. And then which also means some technologies being adopted by some runtime, and for the runtime, just implement a platform, do not need to implement these standalone releases. Okay, let's get into the MicroProfile 6. So what is included in MicroProfile 6? So let's have a quick overview what's in MicroProfile 6. For MicroProfile 6 is MicroProfile 6 include all of the Jakarta EE10 core profile, and the plus it has one new spec we call MicroProfile Telemetry, and also it has 3 spec update: OpenAPI 3.1, Metrics 5.0, and also JWT authentication 2.1. As you can see here, the major change is the new spec telemetry, and also the major update from MicroProfile metrics. If you notice previously, in MicroProfile 5, there was MicroProfile open tracing was here, because telemetry is the new, is a new spec, is directly superseded the open tracing. So that's why the open tracing moved into the standalone specifications. Also, the reactive messaging and reactive stream operators this year also being updated to support Jakarta EE namespace. Let's go through the updated MicroProfile specs. The first one is the MicroProfile OpenAPI 3.1. So this is a minor change. So in the OpenAPI 3.1, the first update is integrated with beam validation. So it's as you can recall, like a Jakarta beam validation has some annotations, and also mandate some or document some field and etc. And also the MicroProfile Open API has some annotations and such as and schema. So it's previously before the integration with beam validation, you have to specify if it's this class has a field, my field is if even you say add positive, but when you generate Open API the doc and the add positive is completely ignored, won't generate any information from it. So you have to say add annotation and schema so that you can say, oh, this is the positive. So and then you can generate the slash if you generate this Open API doc, and then you can say that this is a positive. So from the version Open API 3.1, you no longer need to add schema and etc. So this beam validations, the annotation automatically automatically processed into the Open API doc. The second change is the security requirements set. It can do either model either optional or multiple. So it's the top example here is means optional. So here is you just say security requirement, you declare two requirement. And then his requirement sets is kind of the, if it's empty, so means this either, so basically it's optional, could be API key auth or buried token auth, or nothing. And if it's a multiple, you just also put the security requirement for the API key auth and also buried token auth as a child of this, as an element of this requirement sets. So as you can see, when you generate, the security include both API key auth and buried token auth. The next one is the additional properties being added to schema. So this is if you have the add schema annotation, you can specify additional properties with a class. And then when you generate the Open API doc, and here it will process here and add a reference schemas another class. The following one is the API response in the past cannot be specified on the class level. So it's basically it's the type. As you can see, the type is it was not part of this annotation. So now the API response can be specified on the class. So which means this is applicable to all of this method. So it's an API response, especially if this method or return the same type, and then you can just do that. Response code means the same thing. The following one, extensions. Extensions attribute added to extension. So it's here you can see like this security schema, the name type, OpenID connect URL, and also extensions. So basically we added a new attribute, and then you can see add extension and set the name and value. So you can see here when it's generated this doc, you can see this name and value being being processed. So that's a quick overview about Open API. The next one is the MicroProfile JWT 2.1. Again, the MicroProfile JWT 2.1 is also a minor update. it introduces a few properties. You can specify the properties in the MicroProfile configure sources. The first property is you can specify JWT token age. So basically, this is you can do mp.jwt.verify token.age. This is the value is in second, so it's 3,600 seconds. The second property is the JWT clock screw. So this is can be fixed some system time difference. So in the different machine, they might have a different different time setting, and sometimes you have to adjust the clock. So you will specify the clock screw again is in second. So this the next one is the JWT key deprecation. So it's not deprecation, deprecation. So decryption. So it's there's a few the few algorithm you can specify the what algorithm you want to use to decrypt your keys. So it's in this example here, you encrypt a key, use one algorithm. So here you can specify you use this RSA OAEP as an algorithm to decrypt this is the key. So this is used when the token is GWE. So it's obviously if it's a GWS, you don't need to decrypt the key because it's not encrypted. The key was not encrypted. In the next couple, next set of slides, I will go through the major update. The first major update is spec update is MicroProfile matrix. The MicroProfile matrix 5 was added to MicroProfile 6.0 release. So for MicroProfile matrix 5, it provides MicroProfile matrix basically API. So it's there was a bigger update in the MicroProfile matrix API. Is again is because cater for the different the runtime. They might want to pull in the different metrics backend. In the previous MicroProfile matrix, a job wizard was based on. So it's all the implementations basically they pull in the job wizard. In the MicroProfile 5.0, basically is we directly cut the the close relationship between the job wizard and the MicroProfile matrix. Is so that's why all the spec have been reworked to make sure some other metrics library can be used to implement MicroProfile 5.0. The next one is the big update is the support multi-dimensional dimensional metrics. As you can see here, the car speed, you can specify the a driver and also the the scope, the MP scope. So it's a car scope or could be any other scope. You can add a lot of other things. So it's basically this is two-dimensional. You can add three-dimensional and etc. and etc. So this is the speed. As you can see here, the different driver has a different speed. The following one, the third one is customer scope support. So it's if you know MicroProfile matrix 4.1 and earlier, you can remember the MicroProfile matrix provide a base matrix, vendor matrix, and application matrix. there was a request from the end user, like a community. Basically, some other developers, they might want to introduce a customer scope, and then they want to have a query to directly list the customer scope metrics they introduced. So which is why in this release we added the customer scope support. As I mentioned earlier, MicroProfile 5 has been reworked, make sure it's not closely mirrored, by mirrored drop wizard. So which is also means you can pull in other metrics library to implement it. And actually, as a matter of fact, it's looked into Macrometer, because Macrometer is basically is a quite popular metrics library, and then it's you can pull in Macrometer and then implement a MicroProfile metrics. You could pull in some other metrics libraries as well if you wish. What is a Macrometer? Macrometer is vendor-neutral application metrics facade. So it's basically you can think it's directly trying to provide a metrics, and basically provide a way for the cloud native applications to emit some metrics data. And you could you could just do it without adding any single line code. So it's a complete facade. It's like a SLF4J, that login mechanism, but this is for metrics. So Macrometer was adopted by Spring as well, Spring Boot. The other metrics provider is Open Telemetry. Open Telemetry is under CNCF, so it's basically Open Telemetry provides tracing metrics and logging support. Basically, it's also it has quite closely linked with Macrometer as well. So basically, they can understand each other about this data format and etc. So for the metrics 5.0, it's directed still expose endpoint / metrics, and also this is the data is in the Prometheus 0.0.4 format. As you can see from this table, you can directly query a host port and / metrics. You can get all the metrics written, and also you do query the scope. Basically, there's I mentioned, there's a customer scope, also there's a base scope, vendor scope, and etc. As a matter of fact, you could either further tune it. You could query scope and also query the metric name. So basically, you get that under that scope, and you can query the particular metric name. In OpenLiberty, we implement MicroProfile metrics 5.0. We provide the base metrics, vendor metrics, and etc. And also we pulled in our implementation. We used the Macrometer, and also it's basically you could shape your choice of monitoring system. You name it. This is a kind of it's a long list because this metrics data is can fit into some other monitoring system. Autobox, we provided Macrometer global registry and also Prometheus meter registry, and then you can plug in the elastic meter registry, New Relic, or Dynatrace meter registry, or any other you chosen meter registry, all fine. But if you plug in some other meter registry, you have to include the library in your application. In the next few slides, I'll quickly go through some API SPI change. So it's as I mentioned earlier, MicroProfile metrics has undergone many kind of the API SPI like refactoring to make sure it do not directly like link closely with Drop Wizard. So some of the API has been deleted because they are too close to Drop Wizard. So as you can see here, simply timer and concurrent gauge emitter has been deleted. Annotation simply time the concurrent gauge emitter, and also some other gauge counter metric and timer has been updated. Also is here the registry type being removed and registry scope being being added is because in the macrometer is basically talk about the scope and etc. Metadata, default metadata builder, etc. being updated, and also snapshot is updated to better suit a macrometer model, and a percentile was new to represent value as a percentile. With that, let me quickly give you a quick demo about metrics. So here, let me quickly have a look at these metrics. So I have this GitHub repo, also GitHub project. As you can see here, I create car metrics. So this metrics is application scope. In this metrics, basically is I create a registry scope. Basically is a kind of I will say just a car scope. Inject this is a metric registry, and then you can add the gauge and also specify the metadata. So the car speed summary metadata, create this metadata. So here you can also registry.timers, basically add this timer, and this obviously histogram. You can specify the metadata and also the tag and also the detailed data. So this is the car metrics. Basically, is all the metrics being created in this class. So it's as you can see, timer and gauge and histogram, and also is in this car controller. And you can inject these car metrics into this Jakarta resources, and then after inject, and then you do some operation. You can start speak. You can do a start speak thread. Basically, is here the start speaking thread, and then you just simulate you are driving, basically randomly generate some speed, and then you call the metrics speed update. So it's metrics speed update. Basically, is add this is histogram. So this is also you can see here. This is the Jakarta resources. You can see the start and also stop, and also start drive and end drive, unlock and lock, and etc. So it's in order to save the time. Actually, this application is up running at the moment. So it's, you can see here. So you can see here, and then start driving, and I can see end drive. I can see start drive, so driving, and also you can directly going here to see the metrics. So the metrics data, as you can see, is all like populated here. You can query, and as you can see here, it displays the quantile and also the scope. As I mentioned earlier, you can query like the scope, like I can say the base scope. So base scope give me the class loading and also the automatic the metrics. It's not application metrics, and also the memory usage and etc. Again, you can see vendor metrics. So this is directly being added by Open Liberty. So at the moment, I'm demoing using Open Liberty 2213-beta. So it's, as you can see, this is the vendor. Again, you can just, because I define the class scope as a customer scope, you can directly see query the class scope. So this is very powerful because if you are a developer, you create some scope, you want to directly see what scope, like what the metrics you created. So you can directly query this. Also, I have this Grafana dashboard up running. So as you can see here, speed summary, as you can see, is all displays the percentile. Is like this is the beauty of the MicroProfile matrix. So as you can see here, it display all the different percentile. So basically, it's 0.5 and 0.75 without doing anything else. So it's basically it was directly from a histogram, all this data, and you can see this all this data. So here is the number of the driver completed. If I just drive completed, if I stop it, and then I come back, if I start drive, as you can see, completely the 3 now. So this is kind of the you can it can demonstrate to you these stats. So that's a quick run through about the MicroProfile matrix 5. Let me go to the next one, is the MicroProfile Telemetry 1.0. So this is a new specification. Why do we need to create this MicroProfile Telemetry 1.0? We're not further doing MicroProfile open tracing. The reason is, as you know, open tracing and open sensors were merged into the open telemetry. Open telemetry is the future. Open tracing has been deprecated, also is in the maintenance mode. So, which is why MicroProfile has to make a change to adopt the new technology. As you can see here, I said all this is also review the MicroProfile's aim. Its aim to adopt new technologies and stay on the top of the kind of the technology rank as well. So it's not a standard still. So in the MicroProfile Telemetry 1.0, it not adopt everything in the open telemetry, it adopt open telemetry tracing to start with. It's because like in 2022, only open telemetry tracing was stable, and then metrics and also logging was still under active development. However, open telemetry tracing was disabled by default. Why? It's because in the past, people complained about everything is automatically traced, like in the MicroProfile open tracing. So here we want to say actually is you need to be cautious because also it's add some overhead if everything. You need to know actually you want it to be traced, and then you will be able to get all the tracing information. It's very simple. Excuse me. You only need to set a property OTel.SDK.disable equals false. You will be able to enable tracing. You can set this property as any system property environment variable anywhere as a MicroProfile config property. Excuse me. It supports 3 types of instrumentation. It supports automatic instrumentation, basically Jakarta RESTful web services, or sorry, I beg your pardon here, and a MicroProfile REST client. They can automatically enlist it. Let me have some water. Automatically enlisted in the distributed tracing. Or you can do a manual instrumentation. You can inject like a tracer or span, or you can directly use an annotation with span, and etc. Or you do a programmatic lookup span or current to look up the span and directly use the method of the span. The third one is the agent instrumentation. For the agent instrumentation, basically you set up some Java. So basically it's the Java like parameters, and basically it's when you start your JVM, you directly set up there. And in this way, you don't need to do anything, and you automatically get the telemetry data. So MicroProfile Telemetry 1.0, I mean, what's the setting point? So what does it give on top of the open telemetry? Because the open telemetry can do the Java instrumentation, and also in open telemetry, like has some annotations and etc. Why do we need to create a MicroProfile telemetry? Basically, for the MicroProfile telemetry, it created to closely integrate with Jakarta E technologies and also MicroProfile technologies. It provides support for the injection, some of the type like open telemetry or tracer or span or baggage. So in this way, you directly get injected this object, and you can directly use it. The second setting point is all of your Jakarta REST web services and also MicroProfile REST client automatically basically traced. So this is two biggest selling point. So this is the following one is a quick overview about the MicroProfile telemetry. As you can see here, these two for example, cloud native applications. So this one, the first one calling into second one return a response. Actually, if you enable the trace and the span automatically created, directed to be the collector. So it's here. And then optionally, the collector, the gateway can gather all the collector and also push to the tracing backend. So we let it to be Jaeger or Zipkin, and etc. let's quickly go through the details about MicroProfile telemetry. So basically, recap again, automatically trace Jakarta's calls and REST client calls without any code modification. And also you can inject the open telemetry tracer span baggage, or you could use with span or span attribute directly from OTel API. For the exporter, so you can directly export spans to Zipkin or Jaeger or any others. And also there's many exporters. You can use the hotel collector can directly hook into the other exporter. So let me quickly give you another demo about the telemetry. So MicroProfile telemetry. So in here, I have in this example, I have two microservices. One is the system, the other one is the resources. So in the system, directly, basically this is Jakarta's resources. In in here in the system, directly it just have one endpoint is exposed get properties. So in order to enable the tracing, you have to set up a property. So basically hotel.stk.disabled equals false. And you also you specify exporter, which is Jaeger, and also service name is a system. So this is the system. The other one is the inventory. Again, inventory is is Jakarta's resources. So inventory application and also the inventory resources. So inventory resources inject the inventory manager. So this is the manager. The manager basically is very simple, just to have a add operation and also get operation. So this get is get all the properties. This is the add the properties into somewhere. Basically, sys into others. So basically into the systems. And then, as you can see here, in the in the get one, you have a span created. So here is directly inject the tracer, and you can see it's tracer.span builder, builder the span name, start the span, and etc. So here is the start of the span. And for the add one, you can do the again start the span. Basically, this is the add property. So it's two different spans. As you can see here, two spans. So you inject in this resources, you inject this inventory manager. Also is you in these resources, it has one endpoint here is basically is you can pass in the parameter like a host name and also the first. The first is called the manager's get operation. As you can see, it will create a span we mentioned earlier, and then later on it will be add operation. Again, is another span will be created. There's some other operation. So it's but we in this demo we directly go into here. So it's again these two microservices up running. So if I can directly go in here. So if I call this is like an inventory, so basically it's that will be passing in the host name. So I pass in the host name, so the inventory system, the host name. So it's so here, so directly call into this operation. So that operation is then call into the the manager.get information, and also the manager.add information. So it's let's quickly go in here again. So get information. So basically, it's get information here, and also add information here. So this one is also like a call into the system client. So here is basically call into the system client. So system client directly call into the system. So it will basically is have a few other spans created. So let's quickly have a look at the Yaga. So as you can see here, is today a minute ago. So it created like basically in 5 spans created. So as you can see here, get a property. So basically it's a get a property, create a span, and then you do the get. So this is like a call into the system. So that's will get this span, and then here's the add property. So let me go in here again. So you can see get a property here, and then because this get property is do a HTTP get, go to the system. So that's directly correspond to this one. So this is span, and also this is the system client dot get property. So this is directly the system client. So system client is in here, and basically it's directly call into the system microservice. As you can see here, it's build URL, and which is the HTTP localhost, and then you inject a port which is 9081, and then it's call into the system, call into this microservice here. So that's 9081. So where it was set up, it was set up here. So system HTTP port and directly call into it. So which is why you get this span. So as you can see here, get this all these 5 spans all into one trace. If something, you can see where the time was spent as well. So that's the kind of the quick kind of the demo for the telemetry. So if you want to try out the MicroProfile 6 on your own, you can use the OpenLiberty 22.013-beta. So there's a blog here. You can directly click on that to learn how to use it. In the next few minutes, let me quickly go through about the future of MicroProfile. So in the 2023, the strategic goals, basically these are approved. We want to deliver more MicroProfile releases. In the 2022, we managed to deliver 1 release. However, in the 2023, we want to deliver 2 or 3 releases, for MicroProfile. Also, we want to add new specs and also add new innovations to the existing specs. Plus, we want to grow adoptions, awareness for MicroProfile brand. We want to also establish a champion program. So basically, we want kind of like a Java champion, but this is MicroProfile champion to award somebody who has been promote MicroProfile at a greater length, in greater basically contribute to MicroProfile significantly. Also, we want to grow the compatible implementations, so make sure more and more runtime adopt a MicroProfile, and also we want to grow the working group members, committers, and also the contributors. As I mentioned earlier, MicroProfile and Jakarta EE has been working very closely. We want to continue work on aligning Jakarta with MicroProfile, and we want to talk closely with Jakarta EE make sure they do not compete, but they continue complementary to each other. So in the technical goals, I want to really closely mention that is in the 2023, we want to evaluate new specifications like the blob storage. So this is directly cater for the cloud providers. And also, we want to evaluate whether to create the converter spec. Also, is as you know, the cache Gcache was not moved to Jakarta. So also we want to discuss the distributed cache, whether it could be under Jakarta EE or could be under MicroProfile. Finally, we want to also, as you know, now the serverless is really popular. So also we want to evaluate the serverless programming model. So basically create a programming model so that you can plug into any cloud providers, let's say to be running as a serverless functions. Could be used IBM Cloud Code Engine or Azure or AWS Lambda, and etc. or Azure Functions. The following ones, we want to evolve MicroProfile Telemetry to include open telemetry metrics or logging, like when they stable. At the moment, we only adopt the tracing, but we want to take a further look about metrics and logging. As I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, is the MicroProfile Jakarta EE. We continue to align, basically spend more effort on their alignment. Like maybe some spec need to be used by Jakarta EE. We need to establish a pattern how a MicroProfile spec can be utilized by Jakarta EE specifications. Also, we want to keep on moving MicroProfile specifications. We want to evaluate a gap with the Spring framework. So which bit like Spring offer the functionality and the MicroProfile lacking, we want to cover that gap. And finally, we want to improve the alignment for with infrastructure for better end user experience. We want to concentrate on the latest JDK, latest Java SE, for example, make use of the new features, Java 17 or 21, such as virtual thread and etc., and also the Java record and etc. Again, is MicroProfile stick very closely with the cloud infrastructure. If there's a new technology in the cloud, we want to explore the integration and etc. So as I mentioned earlier, we already talking about serverless, and also if there's some relevant cloud technologies appearing, again, we want to hear from it. We want to experiment to see whether we can adopt that technology or improve the technology and provide some bridges and etc. If you want to use MicroProfile or want to learn more about MicroProfile, I co-authored the book called Practical Cloud Native Java Development with MicroProfile. Basically, there's a few chapters give you a very in-depth and user real use case about how to use this MicroProfile specs. And then you can purchase this book from Amazon. So this is a short URL. So with that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And so if you want to get in touch with me for any further questions, Emily, you can use you can directly DM my via my Twitter handle, Emily FH Jiang, or I'm also on the Mastodon at Emily Jiang at mastodon.social. That's pretty much concluded this presentation. Before I hand over for questions, I want to have a quickly show you like a MicroProfile, how easily to use OpenLiberty to demonstrate MicroProfile releases and etc. Or you can use OpenLiberty for any MicroProfile implementations. So basically, it's the only thing you want to do is OpenLiberty Maven plugin. So IO OpenLiberty tools, so Maven plugin, and etc. So it's very simple, and then it's kind of in the server XML you can specify which MicroProfile specification you want to use. So with that, let me stop share my screen so that I can hand over to Jonathan for any questions. So Jonathan, are there any questions?
Hi, Emily. No, so far. So apparently, people have been very carefully listening to your amazing presentation. A lot of content inside your presentation, and a lot of to get back and check your slides and the reference, and especially that book. Thank you very much. It's been a great presentation, and you covered a lot of stuff. So from the beginner stuff, and then covering all the details on this new release, and hopefully people will be now more interested about checking MicroProfile and start using it. Thank you very much to all of the attendees, and thank you very much, Emily, for your presentation, and to the Java Champions group for this conference. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan, for moderating it. Okay, great. See you. Bye.
Bye.